Yo, what's going on guys? Dr. Schwartz here. Today I've got an Infiltrator skill card tutorial for you guys. So basically in Operation 5 they decoupled the characters and the classes together so that now you can play any class and character that you like. So the Infiltrator class is basically Kate's new class in Operation 5. I'm going to be discussing her passive and ultimate ability, going through her skill cards, talking about her perks, the perks in Horde, and also going to be mentioning the two builds that this class has, the stim and the cloak build. And then later on in the video I'm going to be going over, I'm going to be showcasing some gameplay of this class in action. So let's get started with these skill cards here. So these 5 cards are basically normally what I run for this class, in Horde and in Escape. So Lacerations is shotgun hits within 5 meters cause bleeding for 110% of damage. So this card previously didn't have the 5 meter within radius to cause the bleed. You can bleed them from whatever range that the shot Nasher and Overkill had before. Anywhere 10, 15, 20 meters you could bleed. So this class requires a different meta now. To get the bleed damage, you want to be within 5 meters. I do have a clip coming up later in the tutorial showcasing how far or how close that is. It's a lot closer than you might think, so just stay tuned for that later on. Blood Resonance, bleeding enemies take 160% more shotgun damage. This card stacks well with the Laceration card. In fact, you need the Laceration card for this card to actually have effect. So once you get the enemies to bleed with the Laceration card, you'll do 160% more shotgun damage. Which makes these two cards stacked together makes this class very powerful in close range encounters. Stim batteries, as the stim capacity is increased by 260%. This card basically makes this class a super tanky. They can, with this card on, and then the rest of the cards that I'm about to mention, they can sponge boom shots, swarm rack rockets, claw drones on elite, on master difficulty. Lots of heavy hits that you can sponge with this card on for sure. So stim batteries, the card prior pairs really well with enhanced stim. It says 60% damage resistance while you have stim. So in addition to having additional stim capacity, you can also take only 40% of the regular damage that you would normally take when you have stim. This allows you to sponge boom shots, swarm rack rockets, multiple claw drones, bullets, a salvo hit or two without losing stim. So very good card to have. And then the card that gives you the stim originally is Reaper. This card has been changed in Operation 5. Prior operations, you had to get executions to grant you 50% stim at level 6, and now you need shotgun kills to get 50% stim. But with the new meta, since you have to be so close within 5 meters to make them bleed, this one works pretty well once paired with that, and I'll have gameplay coming right up later in the video showcasing this class in action. So those are the basic 5 cards I run. The rest of the cards here. So this card is Chain. Basically, it's executing enemies while the cloak ability is active, extends the duration of the ability of 5 seconds. This card used to be called Blood Drain, which in my opinion was never really that useful, but now it's really useful. It extends the cloak ability of 5 seconds. It used to be like 2.6 prior. The only major change to this in Operation 5 is that meat shields no longer extend the cloak. You have to do a B button execution, like a knife execution, while you're cloaked to extend the cloak ability. Epic Score Boost is just a score boost card. Run it in Escape if you want better times in your Escape hives or your high score runs. Healing Jolt, it says picking up energy heals 100% health. Gears 4 had a card like this, similar, called Energize, where you could pick up energy and not take any damage. If you're running a non-damage build, like if you're just running Stim and Cloak, I'd probably run this on some maps, maybe lower difficulties. But for master difficulty, I think there's a lot of better cards you could run. Uh, the no damage resistance, basically 100% health, you can get healed, is really nice. But once you stop picking up power, you will start taking damage. So I think this is a cool card, but I think there are better cards to run um, in Master, Horde, and Escape. Cloak batteries, it says duration increased by 60%. So the cloak ability lasts quite a while in Horde, so this increases it by 60%. Um, it pairs pretty well with chain, so you can have a longer duration and you can execute enemies to add to that duration. Cool card to run. Not part of my typical stack, but it's definitely a card you want to run if you're running cloak build for Infiltrator. Custom Nasher, it says increases damage and active effects by 30% when firing the Nasher. In my opinion, this is a good beginner card if you're leveling up Infiltrator for the first time. But I think the Blood Resonance and Laceration cards do enough damage with the Nasher and Overkill for this card to be sort of obsolete, so I suggest running other cards. But not a bad card. Maybe if there's a hive with lots of Nashers, you could take advantage of that. Or if you're running two Infiltrators, maybe one of them can run a regular build and the other one can run something else. So moving on to Overkill ammo capacity. Ammo capacity of Overkill increased by 35%. In Horde and Escape, if you have weapon lockers, 2 or 3 overkills, I believe, is plenty. All 35% increased overkill ammo capacity. Basically, all that does is increase the ammo capacity from 20 to 27. But I think that can be negated by a couple of overkills on a locker, or in Escape, you can bring a tactician class and resupply ammo. And plus, in Escape, majority of the hives, there's plenty of ammo. So definitely a beginner card, but I think there are better cards to run than this one. Driven says own damage from explosives are reduced by 32% on any difficulty above elite or so. That much damage resistance isn't enough to sponge a boom shot or a claw or a salvo shot. So definitely beginner card. And I think on master difficulty in Horde or Escape, these damage resistance cards aren't really good standalone cards unless they're paired with like stim batteries or something else. So long reach. This is not a particularly useful card for regular purposes, but in the tour duty every operation, it says power pickup and distance increased by 600%, so 7 times the normal radius. You get about 5 or 6 meters of power pickup range. This is a good card to run because it's typically a couple medals to deal with picking up power, so you can just run beginner Horde on low waves and just kill enemies and get as much power as you need to get the medals that you want associated with picking up power in Horde. Overkill stock. Overkill recoil and bloom reduced by 95%. Since you have to be so close to do any bleed damage with the overkill, you can run this card, but even if you were to spam it, majority of the shots probably will hit the enemy, especially if you're right next to them. The card really doesn't do as much as you may think. I think there's better cards to run for this class. Score boost. Just increase score in Horde and Escape. Basically, if you want to stack it with Epic Score Boost, if you're doing a score run in Escape, you can, but that's just a score boost card. Not much to say about that. Shotgun speed loaders, 225% larger active reload window with shotguns. So I guess if you're having trouble active reloading, you could use this card. But in my opinion, not the best card in the game for this class. Definitely better cards to run, but beginner card for sure. And for low difficulties. So yeah, those are skill cards. Moving on, I'm gonna be talking about some gameplay, showing the laceration distance, and I have some regular gameplay for the class coming right up. Alrighty, before I go into some gameplay on the Infiltrator class, I wanted to show the Horde perks first. So they have the same perks that Kate used to have in the old class. It's health regeneration, shotgun damage, and movement speed. So typically when I play Master Horde with this class, in the early ways, so once the engineer says the okay to the rest of the team that they can start perking, typically I'd like to perk the movement speed and shotgun damage first, and then in the later waves, after wave 30, when the enemies start having double health and double damage, I like to perk up the health and the health regen. So in this clip here, I'm just going to show basically the maximum values for all of those classes here, all those perks. In Operation 4, they reduced the cost perk by about 50%, so it's only about a little over 24,000 power to max a perk now. It used to be double that prior. The health perk goes up to 50% at level 10. The movement speed perk goes up to 50% at level 10. Shotgun damage perk goes up to 50% at level 10, and then the health regen goes up to 100% at level 10, which is really nice. That allows survivability in the later waves after wave 30, where the lethality enemies becomes pretty significant, especially on Master. And pretty much that's it with the perks. I'm just going to show you. Just wanted to talk about that for. Alrighty, guys. Before I jump into show you the gameplay of Infiltrator class in action, I just wanted to show you guys how far away 5 meters is for the laceration card that got changed in Operation 5. So here I am, I have a level 2 barrier lengthways. I'm going to get a decoy on it. Basically the decoy is about 75% of the way down the barrier. As you can see here, I'm at the end of the level 2 barrier. These DBs are hitting it and I'm getting some bleed damage off of them. So it's basically about the range they have to be in order to trigger the bleed damage. Just wanted to show you guys basically how close that was. So again, about 75% of the way through the barrier from one end to the other is about how far the bleed damage is. And then coming up, I've got some gameplay of the Infiltrator class in action, just some boss gameplay, and just a couple clips of that. And that is pretty much it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. See ya.
That's very fair.